But again, Mark Potok, I believe his true agenda was to make it look like, you know what, with this shooting, only the right wing or Republicans has this view of gun rights in this country. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Mark Potok. This is in our constitutional rights to have this gun rights, okay? This is in our Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights to have our guns. If you do not wish to have any guns, that is your right to do that. But if I were to have any rights to have a gun, or anyone else who would wish to have a gun, they have a right to do so. Now, if you were to want to screen people for having guns, you want to have more of a draconian law of who could and who can't have guns. Well, we're going to have to go through the courts to see about that. We're going to have to go through all the paperwork of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which is written there, and this is what we go by. Not no Southern Poverty Law Center who's stating that we should or shouldn't have guns, or who could have guns, what kind of guns, and what time of the day and hour we could take them out, or what have you. So, Mr. Mark Potok, another thing I would like to ask you is, before you blame a group or people or other personal people, you should look at the evidence against Gerald Lochner, the shooter. Reading the Communist Manifesto, burning the flag, having liberal left-wing views of matter, he sounds more and more like yourself, Mr. Mark Potok. You know, also, I would like to say about Rachel Maddow, like I stated earlier. She goes on the air on her show, and again on MSNBC, and she started to go after who else? Not Gerald Lochner, not this nutcase who killed 8 or 9 people, and Congresswoman Gabrielle, who shot Congresswoman Gabrielle, but she goes on to attack the very Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms, the right to carry guns. Now, of course, this is a left-wing liberal plan to say, hey, wow, this is a great time to get in on this. Wow, this nutcase shot and killed 89 people, and then also shot our Congresswoman, Gabrielle Gifford. Now we could get into the game and say, hey, this is a good time to say, well, let's get in our agenda and state that, well, we got to control these guns out there. We have to control these shooters out there who's buying these guns. Well, if you really want to control these guns out there from these terrible people, you know where they are. These criminals out there. I'm talking about the criminal element in this country, which is less than 1% of gun violence in America. You have over 80 million law-abiding American citizens who have guns in their homes to protect their homes, to protect their families, to protect their businesses. And they have a God-given constitutional right to bear arms under the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights. You liberals want to come and take off the Second Amendment, just like you have taken off and stripping away the Constitution little by little to fit your means and your agenda to turn our country into a socialist, communist state that you would like and live in. You don't like it? You guys leave this country. Go to Cuba. Go to China. Go to another state, a country where you don't have any constitutional rights such as the Second Amendment. You don't like people having guns. That's your wish. You don't like it. But others who wish to have guns, to have protect their families, protect their businesses, protect their homes. That's the Constitution. That's the Bill of Rights. You, Rachel Maddow, you go on to use Christina Taylor Greene, the 9-year-old girl who was killed. Here's this poor innocent girl who was born on 2001, September 11th. And it's ironic that she, born on a terrible day, September 11, 2001, the only thing good about that was the beautiful little girl who was born, Christina Taylor Greene, in this case. That's the only beautiful thing that did happen. But unfortunately, in a twisted turn of events, she ended up as a victim, an innocent victim of this terrible shooting in Arizona. And you, Rachel Maddow, use her as an example against these Second Amendment defenders. You use her name in vain against the people who raise and defend the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, who defend this country's foundations of which we live by. You, Rachel Maddow, are just using this poor girl's name. And if I were the family, I would say to shut the hell up, get your facts straight, because it was not any right-wing radicals, was not even Republicans, was not anyone to that matter for what you claimed it to be on your show. In fact, it was somebody in your case, in your agenda, in your ideology, on your side of the team, of the left-wing liberals. Because Gerald Lohner, again, was just that, a left-wing liberal, flag-burning American. Flag-burning. Just as you, Rachel Maddow, and Mark Potok, who want to erase the Bill of Rights, who want to erase the Constitution and make it feasible for your agendas. Who the hell are you to do that? Who the hell are you to say that or think that? If you're living in this country, you're born in this country, and then you want to change the whole ideology of the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and you use people, you use this little girl's name in vain to do that. How dare you, Rachel Maddow, and how dare you, Mark Potok, of using and accusing the right wing or Republicans, the Ron Paul backers, or David Icke, accusing them of this terrible shooting. Why don't you left-wing communist idiots get your facts straight